Hey everyone, BremSter here, of course. Who else would it be? I've had a very stressful day at work, and I've had a very stressful few days at work, and I'm going to do some easy D3 content in order to de-stress. I had been planning last night and then possibly tonight to do some D&D stuff. I've actually sort of been building myself up mentally for it, and then work happened, and work is a priority because it's the thing that pays for everything, so I had to focus on that, and then literally it's just been absolutely nuts. And I've had to deal with some stuff on the puzzle channel, and I just want to relax. So relaxing right now is going to be me doing some easy content, so I'm probably going to ramp this all the way down to like 110. 110 sounds good because 110 will give me loot. I can empower the rifts. I can run a bunch of them. So let's do that. So this should be. Um, don't care if I die. I'm not playing hardcore. Um, yep, don't mind that at all. And at some point, I will try and I might do the story mode. It was something I had thought about doing. Haven't killed an elite pack yet. Don't even know if I've seen one. I I'm really just in the mood to relax into this. Um, it's yeah. So I've been watching a lot of stuff on Diablo 4, a lot of it from Felinae, who is my wife, who streamed a fair bit of the beta, not as much as everyone, but she streamed a lot of her explanation of the rogue and of the druid. And that was very interesting. D4 does look like the sort of game I would enjoy. There's been a lot of discussion about what the end game and the itemization and everything's going to be. And there's been a lot of discussion about how the seasons on Diablo 4 are going to work. Apparently, the seasons are going to start almost immediately, like weeks after the game lands, which is really weird. And it will be a reset, so your characters will start from scratch. But there are some elements in D4 that I'm hoping you don't have to do every season. So there's some exploration stuff that I've seen where it's like, oh, you run around the world and you find these elements and you do those, and once you've done those, you unlock an account wide bonus and everything. And I'm hoping that some of those little bonuses, which will be small but significant for stuff, but I'm hoping they don't need to be done every time, because a lot of the unlocks come from like doing, unlike this where you go into adventure mode and it's all about just, okay, you need to power level, and once you power level you need to get the gear. In D4, a lot of the progress is tied to doing the story, doing the quests. You've got to unlock your zone completions, you've got to discover all the areas in the zone and everything. And if you need to do that every season, I think people are just going to go, no, I don't want to do that. Whereas if you can spend some time unlocking that, and then at the start of the season it's like, okay, if you're doing season content, you've done that, you get it. You get those bonuses, and you are starting a season journey not right at the beginning, but everyone is theoretically on the same footing, like, and if you haven't done them, you do them during that season, and then it's flagged as done for your whole account. I think that is a good way for that to work. And then they're talking about 4 seasons. There will be new content for each season and new types of game modes for each season. And unlike what it is in D3, whereas I had to spend a lot of time and effort to unlock the game modes, you will encounter those game modes or the new content or the new stuff almost immediately, like within your first hour or so of play in the new season. And then the content that is introduced will be persistent. So if they add a new dungeon for a season, or if they add a new thing like set pieces, or if they add the rune stones that used to exist in D2 or stuff like that, then that will continue. So what they're going to be doing is adding to the game. And then they'll release an expansion every couple of years, which you'll pay for. And then that will continue to roll forward. I think this is a good model. Let's ramp this up because I do want XP. I think this is a good model. And could potentially lead to really good stuff. People are able to play the game they want. Um, I'm a little worried that their fine tuning is going to be off, and it will mean things like, "Oh, we don't like this style of play," or it's going to lead. One of the things I don't like is the concept of, because the ladder concept exists. I know I forgot to push my buffs. Because the ladder concept exists, everyone plays the meta. Like, everyone figures out, okay, this build is 1.3% better than all of the other builds. So because I'm pushing for the ladders, everyone is playing that. And everything you do that isn't that is wrong. And because there is group content and it's an open world, I'm very worried that this is going to be a persistent belittling of the way the game is played. And I'm hoping there will be the option for players to go, I don't care about the ladder. I don't want to do that persistent efficiency. I want to play what I enjoy. And from what I've heard, there are going to be some problems with that. Because there's going to be some hard content in each season. This is, again, what I've heard. I don't know for sure. But what I've heard is probably going to happen, and this is from watching videos, I've done no research on my own, is what you will do is you will get a, a pass or a battle pass for the season, and there are things that you need to achieve through the season to complete it. And I'm not sure. I've heard there's two types of passes. One will be a paid pass, and if you can complete the things on the paid pass, you'll get cosmetics. And then there'll be a non-paid pass, which is all the gameplay stuff. So, but you need, my understanding is you need to complete the goals within the game to get them, which is a bit weird because it's, you pay for this stuff and then you need to play the game on top of that or get nothing, which is a little bit unusual, a little bit strange. But okay. I could see that potentially being a thing, particularly if you choose. I mean, it depends on how much they are. Like, if it's $10 and you can chase the cosmetics, and if you can unlock some as you go, so you play for 10 hours and you get 5, you play for 50 hours, you get another 10 or whatever, that might be okay because it's based on you choosing what you do. Or if you, and then right at the top end, if you do this really, really hard stuff, you get it. And if it's possible to get some of that stuff, like, or some cool stuff on the free stuff as well, I think that's okay. But my and apparently there'll be some bonuses that you can get in the pay non in the free stuff. I mean, you have to buy the game, but in the non-paid passes, which will be things like ways of improving playing alts and stuff like that. And as long as all of your gameplay mechanisms are not behind pay to get this, then I think it will all be fine. But it's all, it for me, I've no idea what it looks like yet. So it's all kind of speculative. But I'm curious and interested. Um, yeah. Um, I have not yet ordered my new computer. It is something I will do. When I get my new computer, I hopefully order it in the next week or so. It'll probably then take a week or so to arrive. I've got a lot going on in my life at the moment. Getting a new computer is by no means my top priority. When that new computer arrives, I will probably start streaming Portal 2 because that's a game I've missed. As it, I not that I didn't play it, as in I enjoyed playing it 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and I want to play it again. So that's the goal for that. Um, it's like Yeah, I'm buying a new, not top of the line. There is no way I'm getting a top of the line computer. I'm not getting multiple graphics cards in it, and I'm not getting. I just want a computer. I just want a gaming computer. I saw someone advertise recently like a $12,000 gaming computer, and the interesting thing is I looked at the GPU output on it, and it was better than my Mac, but not by a lot. Better than my $3,000 Mac, but not by a lot. It just did all the gaming stuff rather than all the video rendering and stuff. But as a video renderer, it was slightly better, not a lot. Yeah, if you're doing video editing, it would with all those graphics cards and the super cooling and everything in it, it was yeah about the same. It was very silly. Yeah. And remember, I'm talking Australian dollars here. So, first of all, you're paying the Australia tax of everything costs a fortune to get here, and then Australian currency is not at the same value as things like US dollars. Why am I getting these really cool progress levels when I'm already at the end of the bar? Like, how about you put me into one of these at the start? I mean, at least I'm getting them. Although I need elite packs. Is there any elite packs here? Another Remolandi's gift. Remolandi and another key. Remolandi seems to gift me a lot. But the gameplay of D4 looks really cool. It looks like something I would enjoy. Um, Lots of people apparently were commenting that the Druid was a very squishy build. My wife played one and she didn't play any of the builds that people were saying this is what you should play. She just made one up. She did not find it squishy at all. So that was funny. She was really enjoying it. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely looks fun. And there's other games that I think I will enjoy as well. And I could then basically just mix my stuff between streaming the gaming, the solo role playing, and the puzzle stuff. And basically have no life. I have no idea how I'll fit everything in, but it'll give me options to figure out what I want to do. I really thought that the solo role playing stuff, it would be I would do that, I would do the puzzles, and I would do all my board gaming stuff and all of that, and I would be content. And I probably would have been, except the solo role playing stuff fell by the wayside when I just became too tired. And anyone who's done a lot of role playing knows that's the case. I do really, really, really intellectually want to get back into that. Like, you have no idea how much I do. Like, I sit when I'm resting and reading or whatever, and I spend a lot of time like relaxing in front of the TV with my notepads, just writing stuff for role-playing games. It's a habit I've always had. Most of that stuff never gets seen or played, but it's just a hobby I've always had, and I do want to do that. I do want to do the solo stuff. I really do. I obviously didn't kill all the minions when I did that. Didn't get my Ingium buff. Oh my god. I am way underpowered right now, even though I'm doing this pretty quick, because I'm running my gold farming build. I can fix that.
If my old masters could see me now.
Hey, Frappy. Yeah, doing some... After some terrible days at work, I'm doing some Diablo to de-stress. I'd spent a bit of time talking about Diablo 4. And some plans I had for... or some things I'd heard and some stuff about that interests me. But I need to put on my gold farming guild, take off my gold farming for the content I'm running, because I was an idiot and I was running the wrong stuff. So remove that gem, put that gem on. There we go. And we put that there and that there. Okay. Yeah, so Diablo 4, really like the look of it. I probably only a couple of weeks away from ordering a new computer. I do want to get some more cleaning up done in this room, but I'm too tired tonight. And work has just been kicking my ass. And the first game I stream is almost certainly going to be Portal 2. I might start with Portal because it's short, but I'll probably just jump straight in on Portal 2. But the Diablo 4 season concept looks really interesting. It's not just cleaning. I need to literally reorganize the room and move around stuff. Because if I'm setting up a completely new computer, I'm going to need to find desk space for it. Because I'll still need to have my workstation for work. I'm still going to need to have my workstation for this computer for running the puzzle channel and everything. And I'm still going to, then I'm going to need to have a place for another computer with a couple of screens. So I'll literally have 7 screens, 7 screens running. So yeah, that's just nuts. Where's there he man? So it's clean up, but this place used to run for this office used to have my wife and I in it. So there's room. It's just I need to clear out the space, reorganize where we've got sort of places for it, and then I'll need to like get a new webcam for the second computer, and I'll just run with a cheap keyboard because I've always been a fan of like Logitech cheap keyboards. Um, yeah. When my wife got her gaming computer, she went out and got herself a really good quality, top of the line keyboard. I'm probably just going to go to our local office supply place and get a $20 Logitech keyboard to plug into my $4,000 computer. I think there was a thing of like, oh, you can set up all these macros and everything on it. And I think after about 18 months or something, I turned around and said, so what macros have you set up on it? It was like, none. It was like, yeah, okay. I think I'm ramping the difficulty up again, aren't I? Good quality mouse I will absolutely pay for. For my office computer, I've got like a $20 mouse. It's just the cheapest Logitech laser battery operated cordless mouse. Absolutely. Uh, for my personal computer, I am running a much more expensive mouse. But for a keyboard, I've never felt the need. And the weird thing is, the keyboards have always been like more efficient. Like a wired keyboard, for example, is yeah. I love my little cheap wired keyboards. They just work. But a good quality mouse, I definitely feel the need of. A cheap mouse will just break me. But it's all about comfort. No, there was a. Sure. I'm definitely getting to good levels. Yeah, so I don't know. It'll all be interesting, but this is just me relaxing tonight. I still wish I understood who was jumping in and then instantly vanishing. If I knew I was going to have moderators available, I'd turn off the 5 minute requirement to chat and give them the opportunity to say something and see what happened. Because I'm assuming it's got something to do with that. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed watching Fell's streams of D4. I've enjoyed watching some other content where people have spoken about what it's going to be like. Um, yeah, I'm very, very curious. And people say, oh, it's going to be better than D3, which absolutely sucked. And some of these people, it's like they've got like thousands of hours of content of D3 posted on their channel. It's like, that game sucked. It's like, why did you play thousands of hours a game that you hated? Like, seriously. I don't understand. Like, there are times when I've disliked D3 and I mostly stopped playing. I told myself I would stream this season, and when I wasn't enjoying the start of this season, it was like, I told myself I set myself a goal, and I wanted to complete the goal, and there were bits in the middle, you see it at the start, where I was like, I kind of don't want to do this, and I'm really regretting it. And then I get through it. It's fine. And now I'm kind of enjoying bits of this. I did try and do a 147 with this character the other day, and I still don't get the math. Like, I just can't do enough damage. Like, I can kill the stuff, but I can't kill it fast enough, and I don't know why. I just don't understand how people are like, I did this in 2 minutes. How? It's a numbers game. Like, I can't click my mouse any faster. I don't know. I mean, I've definitely watched videos where, like, I've looked at the numbers that I'm doing on my stream in damage to the numbers that they're doing on their stream in damage. And I'm doing a little bit less, but not a lot less. I'm hitting about as often. Like, I'm not, the amount of numbers that are splashing up, the numbers are about the same. The numbers that are splashing up are about the same. And they are killing mobs with the same amount of health 7 or 8 times faster. And I don't understand. Like, there's something going on and I can't figure out what it is. I would like to know. I'm more than happy for someone to turn around and say, oh, you've missed this, or you're doing this wrong, or anything. Okay, sure, no problem. Love to know what it was. This isn't going to work for me much longer, is it? It is still scary to me that on this account, or on this season, in literally every minute of it streamed, I've nearly earned as much XP as I have in the entire history of Diablo 3 since they introduced Paragon levels. Because at the end of the season, your Paragon XP, the XP you earned, gets added to your main account. So when you complete the season, the XP I earned to get me to, say, 1600 or 1689, if I stop now, would get added to the experience I earned in previous, and then it would calculate my new Paragon level based on that. And because of the exponential growth, so if you did 1,000 in one season and then 1,000 in another season, it'd probably put you at about 1150. Because the experience to get to 1,000 might be the same as getting 150, sort of, the next 150 sort of thing. And on my main account, I think I'm 1,720. So it's literally, I'm very close, like 30 levels off having as much XP as I've earned in every other season I've ever played. And that's just nuts to me. And that'll probably take me up to about 2,000, I reckon. And then that's crazy when I consider that there's people who get, like, I remember someone posting, I think it was day 5 of this season, was turning around and posting, it's like, yeah, so we're a little behind, we're only at about Paragon 4,000. It's like, what? Like, I can't imagine. I don't understand the numbers. Like, and that's another worry I have for Diablo 4 is, are there going to be these numbers that are used where it's about some players have this sort of magic button push or something? I don't know. Yeah, like if you watch some of them, they'll turn around and say, "This is a build you want to do if you're at the low paragons, like anything under 2,500." It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, how is that low paragon? Like, everything I've done up until now has not got me. I'd be about a quarter of the way there. And this was posted weeks ago.
Fortune favors the bold. See you soon. Don't forget, luck always changes.
And I watched the videos on, how you get primals and how you get record XP and stuff. And it's doing what I'm doing. Like, none of them are talking about doing anything different.
Geed was my father. What a steal. What a
That is too
steal.
expensive. I wish you luck, hero. I need more time. I don't have enough
I mean, considering the exposure I've had, I don't know if you're playing on US servers, you are playing with the math being better. Because I've never seen a streamer from outside the US. I've never seen a big streamer that's not American. Not one. They are all American players, every single one of them. Now, I'm only looking for English content, but I don't think I've ever seen one from the UK. Maybe I'm wrong. I, I've seen Australian streamers for other games, but not for Blizzard games. But then again, I haven't looked too hard. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's jingoism math on the servers. I mean, that was definitely seen in some games where the Asian markets did stuff like that. But I don't know. I still can't understand how the math works. I'd love for someone to explain it to me. But this is good fun. And I'm looking forward to Diablo 4 being good fun for as long as it is. And I could see myself with Diablo 4 potentially doing the streaming thing and then pulling down my streaming videos and then uploading excerpts. So, here is this content, here is this content. So people could just watch the relevant bits. Although the concern with that, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've got to figure out how I want to do it all. Because that won't work with the talking head concept. So if I've got my face over here, well, here on the screen, but for me it's down there, then me doing an excerpt and showing content is going to be a problem. I'd have to record that separately. So the other thing I'm thinking of doing is having multiple characters that I use on Diablo 4. Would be having one which I play purely for me, having one, so it would literally be not streaming, not doing anything, I'm just playing for myself. Having one which is me streaming with Fel, and having one which is me streaming solo, and probably have another one which might be me playing privately with Fel without without streaming. I don't know. There are 5 classes at the beginning, so that'll give me some stuff to experiment with. It's a fun game.
Not ready yet.
I mean, I would do group content with people if there were people around to do group content with. But I'm not a huge fan of the grouping up just randomly, because if you meet someone who is just not a compatible playstyle, you just have a terrible experience. And no one ever chats. Whereas if you're doing it with friends, then you can chat on Discord and you can talk about what you want to do and everything. This level had nothing in it.
Not ready yet. How does that feel?
This level also, so far, has had nothing in it. But it's had enough little mobs, at least, that I could make up some ground. Here's an elite pack.
Still waiting.
What the heck? This is the level of no mobs.
Still waiting. I need more time.
I've done a lot of online gaming and I've enjoyed a lot of it. I'm not a fan of competitive online gaming. Um, that includes the ladder concept, which is one of the reasons I'm hoping D4. Um, I mean, I know it's going to focus on ladders pretty heavily, but I'm hoping that it's not too terrible. Um, like, I'm all for having, people running around. It's like, I've got this cosmetic, so I'm like, did stuff that you never will. Great. Yeah, you did. Congratulations. Can I not care? um, I mean, it's fine for people to care. It's like I'm not into sport. I don't give a damn about people supporting their local sports team or local fine, but I support the X sport team. It's like okay, most of the time I don't care. It says me wearing a Rangers shirt. I can get into Marble League because Marble League isn't about like it's random. I'm chasing random numbers basically. It's chaos theory. I kind of get into that because it's funny and silly. Um, but doing it for yeah, yeah, I yeah. Um, and I'll tell people on the puzzle channel, let's like buy my merch, whatever. But I want people to do it like not for reasons of like we want to show that we love BremSter. Do it if you think it's cool. If you don't think it's cool, or if you think it's a money grab or anything, don't do it. Like seriously, if you can't afford it or if you're stretched or anything, do not buy my merch. Like there you go. I've said it on the internet for everyone to see. It's supposed to be a fun option. It's not supposed to be like something for. It's supposed to be a fun option, and I understand people wanting to chase ladders for sort of and competitive play for um, if they're into something where they want to say they want to have that level of sh- trying to think how to put it. They want to be able to measure their skill against other people who want to be measured against. But it's I'm reminded of the trivia contest thing where we went to an event and there was a trivia contest thing and my wife and I were basically we're not going to participate, we're not that interested, blah 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 blah. We were just sitting in a corner having a drink and I think it was I can't remember, it was at something like a cruise or something. I was like we were not interested, we didn't really want to compete in this big one. I think we were doing the casual trivia but we weren't doing the big competitive one. And something happened and we were basically said no you should do this and we got dragged into it against our best wishes. And people discovered that my wife is incredibly good at trivia. Like she just has stuff that goes into her brain and stays there for some strange reason. And they're asking her questions about stuff she has no interest in at all, and she's just like, "Oh, the answer's this," and she was right so often. And one of the reasons she's not interested in competing on trivia is because she's really good at it, and it annoys people, and she doesn't want to annoy people. And it's like she doesn't need to prove herself to other people. She knows she's good at trivia, and other people get annoyed if she proves that she's good at it. So where's the upside to doing it? Um, like, who's the winner here? And it was like, oh no, we need to prove that we're better than you at trivia, but you're not gonna be. Yeah. I find that the people who are competing in things like ladders and stuff are the people who are in sort of the 15 to 20% of the best people who want to kind of prove that they are the best, but the people who are the best won't want to actually be involved. And it's that way in kind of everything. The people who are, I mean, sport's a bit of an exception because there's so much money involved. But for a lot of things, the 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 best people don't don't do like recreational competitive stuff. Like esports is probably different, but having a ladder in a video game is not esports. People may think it is, but it's esports for people who want to think that they're sports people and aren't. Now, I'm not one of the people who are in the top, 25 to 20%. I would be in the bottom 5 to 20%. Let's say bottom 20. And that's okay. But yeah, the best people don't need a ladder to know that they're the best people, and they don't need to compete with everyone in the world to know that they're the best people. So where's the benefit to them in competing on a ladder system? Yeah. So, yeah, those ladders are always going to exclude the best players. The people at the top of the ladder are going to be the people that are going to be designed to be there to keep the people who want to be at the top of the ladder chasing and playing extra hours to try and pursue that unreachable goal. They are not going to be the best players in the world. Probably. I mean, they might be, but I think it's unlikely. Because I think the best players in the world won't bother because they've kind of done it. They've been there, they've done that, and there's no benefit to them doing it anymore. Now, the thing with a ladder on something like this is you are automatically enrolled to it. And that's an annoying concept. And would be interesting to see with how that will actually interact with the European laws and the rights to be forgotten. But like, you've put me up on a ladder, I actually don't want to be there concept would be an interesting thing to see. Could you now, if I was actually running for a time here, the fact that they've put the boss so far away could actually cause me to lose just because on a 15-minute run, just because of that random spawn. Ah, oh, crikey. Do I want to run through this again? It's not that far.
Still waiting.
Fortunately, because of the way the level was laid out, it wasn't that far.
I may be able to help you.
If you don't complete a rift in, I think it's 15 minutes, Urshi will not give you the reward. You'll still get the loot, but you'll get less experience and you will not be able to upgrade your gems. So if you watch while I run the Greater Rift, there's the purple bar that fills up and there's a yellow bar that is filling up often when I'm running these behind it. If that yellow bar reaches the end before you kill the Rift Guardian, you do not get the reward at the end. The loot still drops, but it is way less rewarding. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. That is not something I'm running on this build or any other build that I'm aware of. So,
You look like you could use a new item. That will look nice on you.
I mean, I could absolutely do a 150 in about 20 minutes, but there's no way I can do it in 15. And I still don't understand how people are doing it in 2.5.
Anything could happen. What? I didn't even know I had that thing. What a steal. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that's nice.
I can't
have it
afford
back.
that.
Doing better for materials now too. These 2 runs should get me to 1700. Maybe not. Almost.
Not ready yet. Need more time. Still waiting. Not ready yet.
I can't see how to get out of here.
Need more time. I'm so good, I astound myself.
Hooray, end of level.
Still waiting. Not ready yet. Stop. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Your defenses are nothing. Not ready.
This must be weird to watch. It must look like it's just stuttering. Where's the exit? Oh, it's down here.
Still waiting. I don't have enough arcane power. Need more time.
Good to see you.
I did die in the middle there, but I've got the preservation thing that means that if I die, I think it's once every 45 seconds that the anomaly saves me. Nope, just run again.
Still waiting. Not ready yet. Still waiting.
So you can see the little yellow bar on my purple bar. That's barely moved because I'm running this so quickly.
Still waiting. Not ready yet. Your grave awaits. Need more time. Still waiting. Didn't see that coming, did you?
So probably summon the Rift Guardian. Under 2 minutes.
What do you need?
My knowledge increases.
I'm pretty certain it's visible on the low res, but there's the 1700. Was that a primal? Yes, it was. So what's the other primal I got? Didn't even notice. Ooh, Flavor of Time. So she's running with an Ancient Legendary. Vitality, Armor. So what do I want on my follower for the Flavor of Time? I want Intelligence, Attack Speed, and Cooldown Reduction. There's... Oh my god, it doesn't have Intellect on it. That's terrible. What about the one for the Templar? The one for the Templar, what's Intelligence, wants Strength, Attack Speed, and Cooldown Reduction. That is a useless primal. Because it didn't write... So that's an item I want, but it didn't... Yeah. Nope. Make it go away. That is just terrible. So I'm going to do another one, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
I grow weak.
Wow, okay.
Not ready yet. I need arcane power.
What I might do
Need more time.
is if I wait... I'm going to kill that thing before it kills me. If I mouse over here, you'll see time left 14, 16, 14, 15, 14, 14. And it'll say somewhere here, if I mouse up, my progress is 3%. And you'll see that there's this yellow filling up. And what the yellow is saying is that the time is progressing, but I have not... The purple is my progress and the yellow is the time. Now, if I continue running, what will happen is the purple will overtake the yellow. I mean, it should, because I can normally run these in a couple of minutes. And when the purple overtakes the yellow, what you'll see is just a little yellow vertical bar. So now you'll see here, there's just a yellow bar partway behind the purple. And that's where the time is up to, but my progress is further. Didn't even notice that primal drop last time. Pity it was terrible.
I'm skilled at clarifying gems.
Hey, right, Finks. I'm just going to quickly check my Discord and see if my wife has messaged. She has not. Ooh, okay. How are you, Rat Pinks? I'm doing okay. This is my de-stress after a fairly terrible few days at work. And that's no one's fault. It was just... Sometimes stuff happens and you got to deal with it. And unfortunately, I was the person who had to deal with it. And that's part of why I get paid the medium bucks. By some people's standards, big bucks. By my industry standard, medium bucks. Looks like I'm going through the doorway. This should do it. More primals, a hat and a belt.
Let's see the gem.
All of that potentially looks terrible. The belt is a gold wrap. Not seeing the hat.
Nicely done.
I'm sorry to hear that, Ratfinks. I do not need a gold wrap. There are many builds that do, and the hat is Andriel's visage, so I don't need that. I might hang on to the gold wrap just because. So I might put the gold wrap, I'll just bury it here. And then I'll put these up here. And then I'll buy. This is where I want the primals. I want my chest piece in a primal. I'm hoping they don't get this level of power creep. There's a prime. So there's the primals, and they're useless. So I'm getting primals tonight.
You look like you could use a new come back again. Do come back again.
I can't afford that.
Like 1,500 primordial ashes. It's just crazy because I can't use them for anything. This morning, I was called into work for an emergency thing early, and it's like, oh God, I've got a hangover. This is going to go badly. Check Discord. Okay, I might switch back to my gold farming build because I've done some stuff here. And I might, particularly if this is up, it's not. How many of those did I run? I ran quite a lot. So I'm going to switch back to my gold farming build. And then I'm going to run some bounties and I'm going to hope for a treasure goblin. I won't get one. Rainbow goblin is what I meant, sorry. I'm not going to get one, but I'm going to hope for one. I'm glad you're okay, and I understand the issues. I know several people who've got similar concerns. So, what do I need? It's Act 4 again, so let's run Act 4. Rainbow Goblin!
Not ready yet. Still waiting.
That was quick. So I'm listening to a Pink Floyd playlist I put together, which is a bunch of Pink Floyd albums. And I'm listening to the final cut at the moment. And the version of the final cut I'm listening to has When the Tigers Broke Free, a track by Pink Floyd on it. And the weird thing is, When the Tigers Broke Free was never originally on an album. Trying to find this treasure goblin that I can hear but not see. It's got to be up here, right? Here it is. But it was originally from The Wall. So hearing it on the final cut, because I'm listening to it on YouTube Music, is just strange. Because the version of the albums I've been listening to for 30 plus years, depending on the album, are the versions that I bought on CD when I was a teenager and I ripped in 1990 something. And I've just been listening to that version ever since because they were good enough. They're fine. The version I'm listening to on streaming aren't any better. I've done audio comparisons of bit rates and stuff, and they're the same. But it's very weird hearing When the Tigers Broke Free, a track from the movie version of The Wall, in the middle of the final cut, where it's not supposed to be. Like, what is going on? That's just weird.
Still waiting.
Don't get me wrong, When the Tigers Broke Free is a phenomenal track. I love it, like I always have. But it's weird to hear it in the middle of the final cut. But I'm glad it's there, like I really am. I'm glad it's somewhere. And it's okay there. But I mean, I understand why they put it there. They put it there because everyone knows The Wall. Like, The Wall is probably Pink Floyd's second most famous album. So if they put it in the middle of The Wall, everyone would have gone, what the heck is this? Whereas the final cut is not ridiculously famous. It is an album that they could insert it into and people would just go, like, the fans would go, huh? And the non-fans wouldn't notice. But as a track, it's part of The Wall. It doesn't really fit into the story of the final cut that well. Whatever. Yeah, Diablo, you need to have a cinematic death. I get it. Yeah, he was there for a minute. Yeah, it was the guy in the title. Yes. I have no idea if Diablo is going to appear in Diablo 4. I'm assuming he is. Like, you would expect so, right? I mean, it's going to be tempting if I can figure out how. Except to play the story of Diablo 1, Diablo 2, and Diablo 3. If I can find a way of playing those old games on the new computer, I have no idea if it'd even be possible. They did Diablo 2 as a remastered with a few years ago, and I could possibly pick up Diablo remastered to do that and just play through the story and not worry about the end game. I know I said I'd play through the story of this, and I still haven't. Diablo 1 was such a good game. The weird thing about it was almost everyone I know who played Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 cheated because it was possible. And this was the first Diablo game where you couldn't. And when they released the remaster of Diablo 2, I don't think you could cheat on that either. And a lot of people, I had a few friends that was like, I love Diablo 2. Diablo 2 was my favorite Diablo game. And when they started playing Diablo 2 in that sort of pure online Diablo remaster, all the cheating stuff removed, they were like, yeah, this isn't as good as I remember. There is a story to this, yes. Maybe at some point what I should do is I should schedule a time when you guys are available and I should run through the story. I tried to run through the story a while ago, and the problem is there's a mode in here where you turn off all the cutscenes. And everyone does that once you've played through it once because the cutscenes just interrupt your gameplay. And I'd forgotten I had that turned off because I turned it off 12 years ago. And I was going, why am I not seeing these important scenes? It's because that was turned on. So what I should possibly do is organize a time when I could run through it where you guys could watch it live, and maybe that would be fun. I don't know. But I played through all of Act 1 and half of Act 2 going, I don't understand what's going on. And it was literally just I had this stupid setting turned on, which there is no way I'm turning off for normal play because it would just constantly get in the way.
Your grave awaits. Need more time.
Okay, Frappy, have a good one. I'm going to disappear after this run of bounties, I think.
Your grave awaits. Not ready yet. Need more time. Still waiting. See me now.
And the question would be, do I run through the story mode on a ridiculously powerful character, or do I start a low-level character, or I don't know, and do it really slow? Do I do it start a low-level character and run through it with some good enough gear that I'm running through it quickly, but not like this quickly? Or if all you want to see are the story beats, I can do it on a character like this where literally I'd just be able to jump from story beat to story beat and to story beat.
Still waiting. Your grave awaits. Not ready yet. In here! In the Iron Maiden! Need more time.
It's cool. I was able to bypass a lot of the mods by just teleporting down.
Certain I was gonna die. I heard rumors. All I could...
Low character with good gear would be a mid-range compromise because I could also turn on all my Paragon levels and they would automatically get the altar as well. So they would just be disturbingly powerful. The problem is once they hit level 70, they would be up against... because they level to 70 really quick. And then they would be up against mobs that would just, even with good gear, would outpower them. Yeah, there's some complexities to the level scaling system. But I could start like a level 1 barbarian or something. Where am I headed? How am I supposed to...
Not ready yet. You dare attack me? Need more time. Still waiting. Your defenses are nothing.
And that's what's disturbing because that's just wrong.
Not ready yet. If only they could see me now. Need more time. Still waiting. Your defenses are nothing. Fear your beasts. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Not ready yet.
I'm going to quickly check for a treasure goblin down here because there's a chance there is not.
Still waiting.
But I'll hit the shrine and take the elite pack. In here there's probably 2 elite packs. There's that one and there's probably a shrine somewhere. No, there's just 2 elite packs. Wow, okay. And a chest. Oh, I've got to enter Leoric. If I've got to enter Leoric's Manor, why did you put me down into the Highlands? That's because he's the guy I've got to kill. Okay, that's just really dumb. Okay, I believe my connection's been good the whole time. I don't remember. Sorry.
Still waiting.
There's a cow. I found a cow. Cow is going to walk off and vanish. Okay. Bye-bye, cow. What's in this cocoon? Another cow. Why are there cows? I don't know that I've ever recalled seeing cows here before. Cows are just walking around. It's utterly ridiculous.
Your grave awaits. Still waiting. I'm just warming up. Not ready yet.
Utterly ridiculous. These things often spawn treasure goblins, but instead of treasure goblins, I've been getting cows.
Still waiting.
And that's that done. Okay. Don't know why there was a cow. There was a cow. Cow? So the Ring of Royal Grandeur I've got in my build is 577 intelligence. That's more. Attack speed by 6. That's more, but that's got the crit hit damage, which that one doesn't. So I don't know that it's better. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I just don't care that much. I'm going to buy some chest pieces.
I didn't even know I had that thing.
That is too expensive.
Materials are getting back up there. Utterly ridiculous. Well, that was fun. Thank you, Ratfinks. Thank you, Frappy. Everyone else who jumped in, who I have no idea who you were. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to disappear, go have some dinner. That was nice and relaxing and fun. I hit 1700, which was cool. And as always, good luck with your adventuring. Bye.